All right, we're up. Hey, how's everybody doing? Good to see everybody out there. We're not many people in here yet, but hopefully we'll get some more folks in here before we get out of here. How's everybody doing? Is everybody trying to stay cool, or is it already cool where you guys are? I know the sun's not even down here yet, so it's still a little bit toasty outside. I was having some issues with my breathing today because of the weather, so hopefully everything for you guys is working out. And turn my volume down so you guys don't hear me. Hey Ryan, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you. You don't like the topic of heat? Where are you at? Where are you at today, Ryan? I got a pen. I'm supposed to have a panel up here. That's why I'm not using that microphone you bought for me. I have to be able to hear what they're saying. Where you at? Oh, you're AC went out and you're in Southern Oregon, huh? Oh, it's probably kind of nice there. That's probably not too bad. How about you, John? How's it going there? How's the weather where you live? I'm supposed to have a few other people showing up for the panel, so I'm just trying to beat beat the little time here while we wait. 100 degrees? 100 degrees in Oregon? Are you kidding me? You must be almost to California. There's Grumpy. How you doing? Buggy in Ohio. I emailed you a link, SOP. I don't know if you got it or not. I'm still trying to figure out this StreamYard stuff, but I know I sent a link to you. Hey, Kaylin, good to see you, my friend. How are you this evening? 82 in Des Moines? That's not too unbearable. Let's see who else we got in here. John. Thought I saw another guy besides John and Ryan. He must have left.
Ryan the gamer.
Ryan the gamer, yeah, he was here. Oh, nope, that's Ryan Murphy. He must have left. I don't have him anymore. Are you still here, Ryan? Ryan the gamer, not Ryan Murphy. Oh, there you are.
Yeah.
Raining, there you go. Raining in North Carolina. North Carolina gets quite a bit of rain, it seems like. You only got one kid, SOP. Come on. Dealing with kids. Your kid is a nice kid. Storm may come through. I'll tell you what, right when we were getting ready to go to bed last night, it came in for us. Oh, shoot, there goes the neighborhood. Something came up like what, rain? Corsair Trainers in here. Hey, how you doing, Steve? I just flipping you a little crud there, my friend. Oh, we got somebody trying to get in here. Let's see. Oh, hey, there you are, Anthony.
Hey,
I got it.
There he is. You found the link.
Yep, I got it. We're good to go.
Yeah.
It's pretty easy.
I sent a bunch of them out. I didn't know who'd show up, so I just sent a bunch of them out. I think I can only get 6 up here at a time. I'm not sure yet. It's my first panel using this new StreamYard stuff.
But with the heat, I figured I'd really have to jump in here since I'm in the South Carolina.
Yeah. Well, there's one. Ryan the gamer said it's raining where he's at.
Hey, Ryan the gamer, what's National Night Out?
It must be hot. You're in your t-shirt, huh?
Yeah, it's let's just say it's been
Must
quite
have
humid.
high humidity.
Yeah. Humidity don't feel good right now.
Yeah. I got a fan right over here blowing on me.
Yeah, mine's over there.
Because it's still kind of toasty here. I think it's still 90 degrees here.
Yeah, I hit up like about 93 today, but now it's down in the 80s. But the humidity, my windows are sweating. So
Uh, Terrible, huh?
hmm
August is the hardest time of the year. I don't care where you live.
June or July and August are the two worst months here. After that, we're good to go. But
Yeah. I'm going to be going camping here December. Looks like 25th, 26th, 27th, I think. So I'll probably be trying to get out to you guys from out in the woods somewhere.
is that out in December?
That's at the end of this month.
Oh, and this month. Okay, yeah, it'd be sweating.
Yeah. I'll be trying to see if I can do some live streaming from out there. I haven't tried that yet, so that should be interesting.
Hey, as long as you get decent signal, why not?
Yeah, that's what I'm wishing for. Because of my health issues, I have to have electricity and stuff to run my equipment. So
Uh-huh.
I got right by the bathrooms, and I'm hoping that those have electricity. So I'm hoping they have a good enough signal there.
Yeah, like an extender or something.
Yeah, the Rangers place is right down the lane from me, so I'm sure they have to be able to get out. Maybe I can hop on some of their stuff.
Yeah, well, give it a
Okay,
shot.
That's what I was thinking. Why not try?
Will, you've got a question from John's life,
Yeah.
and but I wanted to. Ryan the gamer said tomorrow night is National Night Out, and I thought I knew what it was, but wasn't sure. But he did say I
Full
asked
shoulder.
to honor them.
A full shoulder. If you can get a full shoulder for $39.99, you better buy it, bud. Because I buy a full shoulder, it costs me about $100. So if you get it for $39.99, I'd go ahead and buy it. Just that's a good price.
But he said that tomorrow night is National Night Out. That's the night to honor police officers.
Oh, really? Where's that at?
It's nationwide.
Nationwide?
Yeah,
Perfect timing.
yeah.
Perfect.
Some towns provide. Now, when we were in Evansville, they had that night, and they had a big thing at the ball stadium, and had almost like a fair type thing
Yeah.
going on.
I haven't heard of anything like that around here, and they usually do all kinds of stuff just because they can.
Yeah,
Such a small community, they try to celebrate whatever they can.
I believe they have one around.
yeah. They don't do as much here, but they do recognize police officers on.
Free Spirit Press News. Yes, sir. There are a heck of a lot of riches in this area.
I can't see the chat, so hopefully, no one's talking
Yeah,
too much
you
crap.
guys can't. You can actually pull it up on your phone, though, Anthony. You can
Okay.
turn the volume down on your phone and watch it that way
Gotcha.
if you want.
I'll see if I can figure that part out. I doubt it, though.
You're not technically savvy, is that what you're saying?
I'm afraid if I close it down, I won't be able to get back in.
Uh,
Oh, gotcha.
you got a tablet? You can do it on your tablet, or you can also do it on your other one, laptop or whatever. But you don't have to. I usually holler out whoever's out there and try to talk to everybody. You know how I am.
Oh, yeah, you're good.
Got RL. Hey, I must be missing something here. We got 3% report. Hey, how you doing? We got RL, and I'm not sure I know RL, but she knows Cheryl. So, Cheryl, you're missing some stuff out there. Uncle Al just shoved into the room.
Uh,
And
what am I missing? Oh
R-
no, there's.
RL. RL.
Oh
We're
yeah, I said hi to him.
we got about 12 people in here. We're supposed to be talking about the heat, how to get through it, and so even for like forest fires and stuff like that. Forest fires put you in a lot of heat. They put off a lot of heat. So sometimes you can have to get through those. And if you see them coming, you can prepare for them sometimes. I
Yeah,
almost overloaded my mouth there because sometimes they just jump those brakes. And so, we just want to try to make sure everybody's trying to stay cool at this time of year because it is hot.
Oh
That's
yeah.
my 2 cents worth. Cheryl, I want you to say something about it. You said it's
about,
miserable there.
yeah, about staying cool.
Yep.
Um, okay, so first I want to let everybody know that we do live in a trailer park.
Good.
We have absolutely no trees around
Yeah.
us at all, so we are exposed to the sun all day long.
Yep.
And we have no AC. So, yeah, we do a lot of things to stay cool. One of the things that I've done for absolutely years and years and years is you put you arrange your fans in your windows to where it pulls in the cool air and it pulls it out at the opposite end. So at one end of the trailer, you face it like into the trailer, and then the opposite end of the trailer, you pull it out, and that actually pulls the cool air through your house. Um, and then you don't shut up your house at night. You take advantage of the night air because it's cooler, and that's when you really cool your house down. Then during the hottest part of the day is when you rest. That's when you don't do anything. You don't do housework or anything. You just take it easy and stay cool and hydrated. The other thing is we keep a lot of wet rags so we can put them on the back of our neck or on our forehead. We'll put tubs of water down for the animals to make sure they have plenty that stay cool. Keeping a bathtub of cool water will also help cool things down, and you don't cook during the hot hours. We actually do a lot of cooking at night when it's cooler, and then heat it up in the microwave if we get hungry. That because even a crock pot will heat up the house. So you don't want to do anything that's going to add heat to your environment. And we've actually gone through this. This is our third year, and we've gone through it with the hottest of temperatures and got through it just fine. You also minimize what you wear. Wear cooler, loose-fitting clothes rather than heavy, tight clothes. And at night, when it does cool down and you're like starting to get cool, you put a sweater on rather than close up the house. You want that coolness to be there when that sun starts hitting. Also, cover your windows with something to keep the sun from shining in. Or a lot of people, and I don't do this, but a lot of people will use aluminum foil to reflect the heat back out. But I don't do that. I like to have the windows open, and I just cover the upper parts of them so that it keeps the sun from shining in too much. But that's just some of the things that we do to kind of keep the house cool and keep ourselves cool. We make sure we have plenty to drink. And
we're always throwing up water bottles.
Yeah, we have water bottles all the time with us, and stay out of the sun. We don't go outside during the hottest part of the day. We stay inside because you go outside, you get hot, you come back in, you can't cool down. And we actually cool our house with we've got 3 box fans and ceiling fans, and then we have a small fan, and that's it. And we keep our house cool enough that we can deal with it. So, um, but that's about all we do. I do have a spray bottle that we sometimes will spray the pets down if they get too hot. We do spray the pets down. Um, or we put them in a tub of water and rinse them down and let them, kind of just play in the water on the kitchen floor or in the bathroom, so that helps keeps your pets cool, and we make sure they have tubs of water that they can drink. So,
How about the neighbors? Do the neighbors try to pull together during the hot part of the year, or I'm not counting the one that you're in a feud with, but I know that you live in a trailer park. Do some of the other neighbors pull together to make sure each other is all right during those times when it gets really hot and just unbearable?
no,
It's all
actually,
everybody
everybody
keeps
keeps
to
to
themselves.
themselves. As a matter of fact, my next door neighbor, I've seen her maybe 3 times since she's lived here. Everybody keeps themselves. They nobody goes out and communicates. Now, having said that, there are 2 neighbors that still live here from before that I do keep an eye on. I do watch and make sure that I see them out and about at least once a day. If not, then I'm going to start wondering where they're at. The rest of them, I don't even know them. They just stay in their trailers and they don't communicate with anybody. So but I do keep an eye out for those too. I don't know that they do the same for me, but but yeah, it's just one of those neighborhoods. So
Okay, how about you, Anthony? What do you?
Well,
She live, you live almost half the country away from her.
I
Kind of
do.
interested in to see how you do yours.
Well, with mine, the good thing about being in the southeast is a lot of homes are kind of designed for the heat. Now, not necessarily the new ones anymore. The ones built after, say, like 1980, or even earlier in the 70s, like the ranch style homes, they're not really built for the heat that's here. But if you look at any home that was built prior to 1950, you'll notice a lot of really high ceilings or gable vents. Things that are put on your house to kind of cool your house down. Now, the one good thing the person who built my house did was they planted an oak tree the time they built my house to shade it during the hottest part of the day. So that really does help. And I have an attic fan that I had to get working again, but I got it working. So if it is really hot in the house, like 2 years ago when my AC stopped working, I was able to turn the attic fan and suck all the heat out the top. So when it comes down to keeping your house cool, you have to think of the common sense. Like keep it simple. Heat's going to rise, so obviously I have a 2-story house, so the second floor is going to be a lot hotter than the first floor. Being on a cement slab, uh, the cement is a heat sink, so it's going to absorb the heat during the course of the day and kind of get hotter. But overnight, it's going to absorb the cool at night. So for the first couple hours of the day, downstairs is pretty cool because the concrete is still pretty cool from overnight. Vice versa, come uh, nighttime, it's pretty warm, but that's where the AC really helps out. Uh, but definitely worry about, or you have to make sure that you're staying in the shade. Um, but even with the humidity, the shade only does so much because, like I always say, the humidity is like a hot dog breath breathing on you because it's just it's miserable regardless because you're just standing there sweating. The moisture is attracted to you, but that's also why it never reaches over 100 here because we do have such high humidity. The moisture in the air keeps the heat in check technically, so it never goes over 100. But when you have such high humidity, you'll, like I said earlier, you'll see your windows sweating. So moisture, mildew, humidity, mold problems are really big here. So if you keep your air moving with, say, a fan, that's probably the best thing you can do. Or if you have the ability to have whatever room you're in, windows on opposite sides to get a cross breeze, that's about the best thing you're going to be able to do. And if at all possible, make sure you have a double hung window where the top will come down or open, just like the bottom will. So if you leave the top one open on one side and the bottom on the other side, you'll kind of make a circular effect. That'll really help out. So that's just the kind of things that we do down here. Uh, Little secrets, I could say, for the Southeast.
So, and actually, you don't want to try to overheat. People with air conditioning don't want to try to overstress their machinery during the hottest part of the day. The best thing to do would be to run your air conditioning like in the early mornings, cool your home down, close the windows, and try to stop any of the heat coming in from the east to the west. And try to keep your home cool that way, so that as the heated part of the day comes, even as hot as it is, if you're anything like where I live in like right smack dab in the middle of the United States. And if I keep my air conditioners running the hottest part of the day, they just start blowing hot air. They're not really cooling. So we try to do is keep it cool in the house during the morning part, and then and as the heat comes, then we shut those down and rely on other ways of cooling, which could be anything from making your own cooling system from a 5 gallon bucket. I don't know how many of you guys have ever tried doing that, but they actually work pretty good. You just take ice out of your refrigerator and throw it into a bucket, 2 buckets actually. One bucket catches the water as it melts, and you just use a small fan, and you can use it like a window fan. You can actually just set it on top of the bucket so that the air is sucking out of the ice in the bucket and blowing it up into the air. And then that is cool air coming out of that bucket. And then I punch holes in the bottom of the bucket so the water just drips down into the bottom bucket. And you're still getting coolness because the ice is cold. So the water's staying cold too. So it's actually sucking back up and going through the air as well. That's just a trick that I was taught when I was a kid. And it still works to this day. I was seeing back here in the chat that I can't remember. I might not be able to find it. There's a lot of people talking out there, but they were saying take wet towels and hang them behind the fan, and that moisture in the towel will actually pull through the fan and create cool temperatures as well.
Yeah,
And I believe, I'm trying to remember who that was, but
It was a free spirit.
yeah, Free Spirit.
Yeah. And yeah, and you could, there's a way you can take like milk jugs and freeze them and set them behind your fans, kind of like what you were saying.
I threw a link into the chat, so if any of you guys want to come up and add to the conversation, feel free. As soon as I see you pop in here, I'll get you up on, here onto the panel. How about you, CR? I haven't had
Hey,
you on my
Will.
panel for a long time.
Hey, Will.
Yeah.
Just make sure that whenever you do the fan or the towel and the ice buckets or whatever, they don't really work that well in high humidity environments because the
Right.
moisture in the air, it kind of counteracts itself. It doesn't work the way it does really well with a dry environment because the humidity from what you have in a dry environment is going to want to spread, and it really works. But in a humid environment, it's kind of pointless, honestly. Keeping something on your neck is probably the best thing you can do. Something cool, but you have to hydrate. That's probably the number one most important thing: is drinking as much water as you can and making sure that you have salt, because you're going to sweat a lot in a humid environment, regardless of where.
It's been many years since I've lived in a humid environment, but you are absolutely right there, my friend.
And like you said, stay in the shade. Because like I said, we do not go outside in the afternoons, because if we go outside, we get hot, we come back in, we can't cool down. We just don't have the means to. So not where it's comfortable. And so, yeah, I mean, those are very good points, and that's why we always keep cool rags on the back of our neck and sometimes on our forehead, because yeah, I mean, it's very hard to stay cool. If once you get hot, it's very hard to cool back down. So,
Well, like when I was in Afghanistan, the temperature in the middle of the day would get up to about 120 degrees. But like I said, it's dry heat, like it is out west or in the desert.
yeah.
So you don't realize how much you're sweating because it's evaporating so fast, and that's where it's pretty dangerous. Well, the exact opposite happens out here on the East Coast and the Southeast. You walk outside within 15 minutes, your clothes are drenched. From the humidity, but mostly from sweat, and you're just sweating so much you can physically actually wring out your clothes. So that's where it gets super dangerous. I mean, it works if it's a cool breeze to kind of soak your clothes, but for the most part, you're losing your salt very, very fast. And just from
Mm-hmm.
being in the Marine Corps and being stationed on the East Coast, or when I was back in the States, a lot of times when we do patrols or whatever in the middle of June, July, August, we have to force people to drink canteens and salt because people drop out, like flies with heat casualties just because they cramp up because they cannot hydrate fast enough for what they're sweating out. So.
That's true. I used to carry salt tablets with me when I was at work because of the humidity. When I worked farther into the south part of the country, is you would start cramping up, like Anthony says. And if you just take a salt tablet, start drinking plenty of water, it'll really save you. You don't really understand, but that's how it works.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Gatorade worked really good. If you work in a shop, I worked in a production shop, and it doesn't matter what time of year it is, it gets hot in there because you got all these machines running. And I would drink Gatorade by the gallons just to keep that salt intake coming in, because otherwise you just sit there and you don't even realize it. You're working at a production pace. You don't realize it, and before you know it, you're picking yourself up off the floor. If you're not watching what you're doing.
Right. And that brings up a good point, because everyone needs to be fully aware of the symptoms of dehydration. Was it? Oh, I lost it. The heat stroke, the
Heat exhaustion.
heat exhaustion. Thank you. I couldn't remember it. And everybody needs to know what those symptoms are, because I was actually watching a video about it, and they were talking about how, once you reach the point of heat stroke, you are no longer able to help yourself. So
No.
everyone needs to be fully aware of what the symptoms are and watch each other. Because if you don't pay attention, someone's going to go quick. So
Well,
um,
heat stroke itself is very dangerous because it's basically cooking your brain.
exactly.
And when you cook your brain, your body just doesn't function the way it's supposed to. That's why the biggest difference between a heat exhaustion and a heat stroke is you got a really rapid, weak. A slow pulse, and then you got a very rapid, weak pulse with heat stroke. I might have that backwards, but your body starts losing the idea of what it needs to do to cool itself down and kind of
Mhm.
calm down, and then you go into shock because your body doesn't know what to do. So that's why it's very important to, if you do notice someone's hitting that point, you have to put them into shade and you have to lift it. Put some cold compress on their neck. Try to cool them down. You don't want to even if you have heat exhaustion symptoms, you don't want to jump immediately into cold water because you will go into shock. Same thing
Right.
with drinking cold water. If you drink ice water when you are super overheated, suffering from heat exhaustion, you will probably pass out because your
Yeah.
body's getting, it's a shock to the stomach, and the brain will most likely shut you down because it thinks something's wrong. So you have to keep in mind, pace yourself, especially as you get older. That's one thing I'm learning myself when I'm out and doing, stuff outside with the garden and whatnot. Uh, I don't realize, like, I still think I'm 22, and next thing you know, I'm like, wow, I'm getting lightheaded and I'm not sweating anymore. I need to go inside, and that's when I come in. So
And you
Yeah.
also have to be careful if you overheat and go inside too much. You can also get sick from that.
Hmm.
you can actually find yourself catching pneumonia and stuff. So it's a kind of a fine line that we walk, in the heat. That's why I thought it was kind of important to get the message out there and let everybody sit here and talk about it. I see Alana came in the room. Did you want to come up, Alana, or not?
And Ryan the gamer said, "Yeah, call 911." Exactly. If you know somebody is headed, has heat exhaustion or headed towards heat stroke, you get them to the hospital. You contact medical because
Exactly,
they
because-
are going to need help. So
Yeah, because you're
Well, most
Usually,
people won't even notice that they're getting it because, like Anthony said, it starts working on your brain. So your brain's telling you, "Hey, you're okay, man. Just keep on doing it. You're okay. Go, go, go." But you're
right.
not.
Well, that's what I mean. It's that someone else. If you notice somebody else,
yeah.
it's happening to
That's why I
someone.
was asking you if your neighbors took care of each other.
Yeah.
Because it's
Yeah.
important for you to keep an eye on your situational awareness. It's not
Exactly.
just about you when it gets to be that hot. It's about what's going on around you. Because if other people are not watching what they're doing, then they can die. I wouldn't feel very good if my neighbor died just because I didn't look over there once in a while. I
Yeah.
mean,
See, that's why the two neighbors that I do have anything to do with, I do watch them very closely. Of course, I always keep an eye on all my neighborhood because of security reasons. But but I
down
mean,
on yourself.
yeah, but
such a
it
good.
even the bad guy, even if he was to collapse in my yard, I
You'd
would
still check
definitely
on it.
take care of him. I mean, I would definitely go out and do what I needed to. I would call the ambulance. I would do what's necessary. It's just who I am. I
That's
can't
that
say
motherly instinct.
yeah, it is. You're right. But I can't say they would do the same for me.
Yeah.
But that's okay. I don't care. I mean, that's just who I am. But yeah, I mean, it is important to watch, and not just in your neighborhood, but even if you're out shopping or just out at the park or whatever, be aware of the people around you, because, like you said, if someone was to collapse and you just ignored them, that's going to be on your conscience. So you
Or
need to be
watch the elderly, especially like if you're at the shopping center or something. The
yeah,
elderly don't even. I'm not elderly yet, but I'm getting there. But I sometimes you just don't realize what the sun's doing to you. So maybe
right.
you look over and see the old lady next to you. Excuse my French, but maybe she's wobbling a little bit. And she doesn't realize what's going on. Maybe just reach over there and grab her and say, "Ma'am, can I help you?" or something like that. So that she gets reassurance. And says, "Hey, I'm thirsty" or something. Maybe you could give her a drink of water or something.
Well, you
Yeah,
definitely have to pay attention to traffic as well. There's a lot of people out there that don't have air conditioning in their cars, and if you get stuck in traffic in the middle of the day on the highway where all those cars are running and you're sitting there just waiting for something to clear out, and they don't have AC, if there's no breeze, you're baking, and
Yeah.
that could be a very dangerous situation. So if you're sitting there frustrated that you're in traffic, I mean, a quick look around to make sure the people around you aren't, legitimately going to pass out would probably help out as well.
Yeah. You're probably not old enough to know about when we didn't have our AC in the cars.
My first car,
yeah.
Our AC was four windows down.
460 is what they
Yeah,
said.
460. Yep.
yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
Steve, hey, Steve, welcome back. You didn't miss too much. Oh, yeah, we talked about elderly people. You did miss something.
old people. Yep, old people and Steve.
Yeah, and Ryan, the gamer, brought up the kids. Yeah, uh, we do watch the kids in the neighborhood very closely too. But yes, you're right.
Yeah, one of those signs that you really want to make sure you pay attention to with kids, especially because they're not gonna, they obviously can't tell you, is like if you have that this spot between dehydration, you got to make sure as a parent you're making them drink fluids, not something that's going to dehydrate them like soda, but something that's going to kind of rehydrate them. But you got to pay attention to the flushed red skin, and then when they start getting pale and they stop sweating. And if it gets to that point, that's how you know that it's just too much and they need to come inside and they need to calm down. So just mitigate, depending on your location, them going outside, because obviously you can't be with them the entire time. But gone are the days of, spraying each other with the hose and drinking from the hose, because kids don't go outside that much anymore. I think that's what makes it so dangerous, since they don't spend so much time outside. They're not acclimated to the heat anymore.
Yeah. And I think for parents, they need to schedule their children's time to where they're not out in the sun in the hot afternoon. Maybe that could be a quiet time inside doing puzzles or reading books or something constructive. If people focused on making sure that their kids were doing quiet things, in a cooler place during the hottest part of the day, makes a difference. It's just something
to
people need to think about.
Steve, he lives on the West Coast, and I was trying to get him up here. I wanted to kind of have him check in, but he's been in and out. He's got kid problems apparently. But yeah, when they have those forest fires like in California and stuff, a lot of the elderly folks will hang out in their homes, trying to avoid being out in that smoke and stuff, and they don't realize that they're actually getting heat stroke and stuff, or even just heat exhaustion from people, just from trying to avoid a dangerous situation. So, that would be something to think about too. That's why I'm always saying, are you checking your neighbors and stuff, or you're letting your neighbors in on what's going on around you, say, hey, I can come over and help you if you need to send up a fire or something, But California fires would be another good one, because it would get hot. It's hot already. And then you've got the heat from the burn coming at you too, So it would disorientate a lot of people, not just elderly people, but a lot of people that really don't know about any of that, Saved by the bell, Rob.
I knew it.
And another point I wanted to bring up too is check with your area, because now here, the only place they offer this is at our library, but a lot of the cities will offer places for people to go to stay cool. The bus terminal, certain malls, I'm trying to think of libraries, churches. A lot of places will offer a place to go where you can stay cool.
No, I think everything's good.
Really hot, especially if the temperature is a certain degree. Another thing is that was offered in Evansville was public transportation is free after the heat got up to a certain degree. They offered free transportation for people did not have to walk. So check with your city and see if you have those kinds of things available when it's really hot. So.
Yeah, I used to live in eastern Nebraska, where it gets humid in eastern Nebraska. And we used to just go down to the creek and just lay down in the creek.
Yeah. That's like
popular here.
Hey, Rob, how you doing?
Well, I'm doing mostly okay. Kind of a weird day today.
That's called Monday.
Well, actually, this was a little bit even more weird than Monday. I don't really have a hi, Anthony. We've never met. Nice to meet you.
Hey, nice to meet you.
Today I had to start off by taking my dad to an eye doctor appointment in the big town about an hour away, and then came home and went to a funeral of a lady that I've known most of my life, that helped raise me, and then deal with things. It was a weird day, weird long day.
Are you better now, my friend?
Maybe.
Yeah, my condolences on your friend. I heard about that this morning.
Oh yeah, that's right. You were there. That's right. You knew.
Yeah.
Thank you. See if I can get
Oh,
my head.
Des Moines City buses give free rides to designated cooling centers when the heat gets too high. I think there's other cities that do that too.
Yeah, there are.
I know
Yes.
that when I lived in Seattle, they would do something like that. They have regular waterworks that go up in certain areas of the city for people to be able to go and either stand by and catch the mist or run through and be little kids and run through it or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I see Wes came in. How you doing, Wes? Good to see you.
See, I always like to go to the beer caves and the gas stations. Those are my favorite places, I guess.
Yeah, and you might contact your city hall to find out if they have things available. There was one swimming pool in Evansville that in the summertime they would offer the swimming pool. It was right after it started cooling off, right around 4 or 5 o'clock in the afternoon, so people could go for free to the pool. They wouldn't let them go during the hottest part of the day. They actually closed down the pool, but they would let them go, as it started cooling down. So you might want to check on that too. So
I do know that cities and rural areas and stuff, they never really cared too much for the heat part of the year. But I've noticed over the last few years, they've started coming around to trying to save lives instead of letting people fend for themselves.
yeah,
The big thing
It all
is
depends on
elderly people and the children.
it all depends on the area. It was more up north. The Northeast was usually the ones that didn't care, and now they seem to really put a big foot
Are you
forward.
talking about New York?
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah, I think it's more of the medium-sized towns or cities that do that. 100,000, that type of thing. Yeah, so, but it's still worth checking into. So,
Yeah, so Wes, I got Wes in here. Are you trying to figure out StreamYard, Wes? This would probably be a good outlet for you instead of Zoom for what you do as well. I just was trying to pass that along to you. I am assimilated. It's the closest thing to Hangouts, I think, in my book, anyway.
The boar got him.
Uh-oh.
I
Been
actually
assimilated.
I actually think the StreamYard is easier to get into it's
I like
Yes.
it. I like it because whoever you have up here doesn't have to have it.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't have it and they want to be up on the panel or they want to come in and talk to everybody, they don't have to go upload an app just to get up and talk. They
I'll
can
be
just
I
hit a
agree with
link and
Jeff.
pop in. That's what I like about it.
Yeah, well, I mean, you can even put the link in the chat, and all they have to do is go into the chat. You don't have to email a link or nothing like that. You can just type it in the chat, and they can come on in that way. So I like that idea. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. I did like 4 of those, Wes. I did 4 of them where I was just talking to myself.
I
Don't feel
like
like
talking to
a lone
myself.
stranger. I wanted to make sure it was going to work before I did it. So
okay. Alana is asking if Streamlab and StreamYard is different.
Streamlab is different. I don't like Streamlab either. I've tried several of them. I tried Streamlab. I tried Zoom. I tried what's that other one? What chat? Whatever it's called. I tried several of them, but this one here, I just found this one on a fluke. I have a Facebook page that is just in time prepping group, and Streamlabs hit my page saying come check us out. So that's how I found it.
Seems to be working just fine. I like it.
Works for me. I like it. I don't
Yeah.
have to a guy asked me to come on his Zoom chat a couple of weeks ago, and I said I don't want to come up there because I have to Uh, go into the store, get the app,
Yeah.
create a profile, then I can come up there and talk with you. He says, well, that's not too bad. And I says, huh? I got StreamYard. You just send out a link. The guy clicks on it, and he's on your panel. He goes, oh, yeah, I'm going to go check that out.
Super easy.
She's wanting to know if there's an app that you need to download for StreamYard onto her phone.
No. You just
No.
go into your browser
Yeah.
and type in, Google it, whatever you want to do. Type in StreamYard. It'll come up. It'll say StreamYard.com. You click on it. It goes in there. You set up your name and a pass. They don't even give you a password. The first time you come in, they send you a passcode. And they after you've got the passcode and you're in there, then you're done. And then you just tell it where you want to stream to. Like I stream to YouTube and I stream to Facebook. And every time you come in, they ask you where you want to stream to, and you click on wherever you want to go. Boom, you're in there to wherever you want to go. It's just that easy. That's what I like about it. It's just too darn easy. I mean, my OBS that I do the networking with, I can use OBS with the StreamYard. All I got to do is change my camera from StreamYard to OBS, and my OBS will come right in here. So I'm sold. I'm here, and they have a paid version of it, but I don't need it yet. So I think it's like $15 a month, and you can do all kinds of other stuff. You can change the way the background looks and stuff like that. But I have OBS, so if I want to change my background, I'll just bring an OBS background in here and do it. You know, why pay $15 if you don't have to?
Okay, and she's wanting to know if it can be used on phones and not just computers.
Yes, it can be used on phones as well. They
I'm
just
on
they
right
just
now.
yep, they just started doing it like last week. And they're changing it all the time. They're really starting to trying to make it streamlined. You can go actually if you have a lot of questions, Alana, go to Facebook and type in StreamYard. They have a group there, and that is pretty much a network group. And you can ask a ton of questions, and they'll answer whatever you ask them. If they can't answer it, there's something wrong because most of those guys built it. So that's
No, that was all the questions she had that I saw. CR did bring up something that I had touched on about eating things like salads and sandwiches versus hot meals, and then eating later in the day, and to stay cool. And
yeah, absolutely.
I had
Anything you can do during the cool time of the day is a plus. Like here, we don't. If it's really hot, we don't even bother cooking. We call it "fend for your life."
yeah. And what we do is we'll put in like something in the crock pot overnight, and then next morning it'll be done, and we can actually like say, well, yesterday Angel put a whole chicken in, and we have actually divided that up, and she made a very quick meal of macaroni and cheese and shredded chicken last night. Tonight we're having chicken salad sandwiches, um, with for our dinner. So yeah, I mean it. You just do things so that you don't add heat to the air.
Well, Rob, he lives in Texas. Why don't you tell us what you do there to stay cool during the day?
Stay inside in the air conditioner. Yeah, there's not a lot of staying cool. The one thing I hope for is that as I get older, the heat won't bother me as bad. I noticed that my dad, who's 86 years old, heat up to a point doesn't bother him as much. And I seem to be getting better at it. I hate hot weather. But the last few days, even though it's been up in the high 90s, it hadn't been too bad, even though the sun was pretty intense today. It's like I think Anthony mentioned earlier, it's dry enough out here that we get the evaporative cooling effect with the wind, because we've always got a breeze blowing, almost always. And when you sweat and the breeze blows, it's not terrible. Keep a hat on, or if you can keep it in any kind of shade.
So, have you got any helpful hints, say, if your air conditioning went out?
Yes, actually. When I was young, I lived in a house that had zero air conditioning. I lived there for a couple of years, didn't have a swamp cooler or nothing. And I worked at night, and so I would sleep during the day, and then on my days off, of course, I'd be there. But one thing that helped would be to just put about 8 or 10 inches of cool water, kind of like a swimming pool, which I didn't have, but just fill up your bathtub a little ways with cold or cool water, and just kind of kick back in that. There's something about when you cool down. It's like when you go swimming, on a really hot day, you go swimming in the middle of the afternoon, and it cools you off, and it has an effect that lasts pretty much all the rest of the day. And so with a bathtub, it's kind of the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good idea. I never thought about that. My mom used to do that to me, to all of my brothers and sisters too. In the hot part of the day, we lived in Alabama and Tennessee area, and it gets hot and humid there.
Yeah.
She would just fill up the bathtub with cold water and tell us to go sit in it.
Yep, exactly. Now out here, you can pour water on your clothes, or if you've got a boonie hat, you can soak that in water and put it on. In humid climates, Florida, Alabama, places like that, I don't think it works as well. But out here, it works really good.
It works all right.
How about you, Anthony? What do you guys do if your air conditioner goes off?
Well, that happened to me 2 years ago, and that was very fun. But basically, you can only open the window so much because all the humidity comes in and the inside of your walls start sweating.
Yep.
So the main thing we had to do was we had to just basically, thank God we still had electricity to where I could still run electric fans and just kind of make a whirlwind effect, just kind of put them so they all spin around. But one of the good things a lot of people don't realize is your ceiling fan. There's a switch on top of the ceiling fan where you can change the direction of how it turns. So in the summertime, it should spin the opposite direction, so it draws the air up. And in the wintertime, you're supposed to blow the heat down. That's how a ceiling fan is supposed to work. And if you actually use it that way, it works out pretty well. They're designed very well for that. And that's probably the main thing that we did the entire time. But definitely we would jump in the shower, like a really cold shower, and kind of soak down for a few minutes and back out. And that really did help, along with staying out in the shade with somewhat of a breeze, kind of staying outside the house. But turning the lights off works out really well because heat generated from your light bulbs, incandescent, especially, not cooking during the daytime. Basically turning everything electrical off except the fan. Really, really helped.
Yeah, before I moved out here, I lived in Washington, so I didn't have a real big problem with the heat in the summertime because it rains all the time there. I think it only has there all year long. You only got about 2 weeks of sunshine, so I lived here where I live now before I went out there. When I first got out of the military, I lived just a little ways down the road from where I am now. And I forgot how darn hot it got here, It gets colder than heck in the winter and hotter than heck in the summer. So what we do is during the off months, I went and bought a bunch of just room air conditioners, just those little bitty things. And I put them all downstairs, and then when it started getting hot, I bring them up and I strategically put them in my house in different windows, and then we run fans from room to room and just get it like being like a big swirl of cool air. And then like I said, when the day gets really beaten down hot, those little air conditioners, they don't keep it cool anymore, so you have to turn them off. But you generate such a cool atmosphere, and then the rest of the day is pretty cool. It's livable, And then as the evening comes on, then you can start turning them on and putting them on low and stuff and start cooling your house down again for the next day, So that's how we do it here. Everybody has a different way, I'm sure. But anything is a help to be able to have that to look back on, or maybe use in the future for where you live now,
Yeah, that's what I was talking about earlier, pulling that cool air through the trailer by switching how your fans are. And Steve is out there, of course, giving us a hard time about no humidity in California. Hmm. I don't want to hear it, Steve.
Must be nice.
Beautiful downtown LA, right?
That's right.
Poor Rob.
They're gonna be doing a drive by on you, Steve.
At least when I go to the
Wasteland,
interstate, they don't hassle me for oranges.
Hulk Hogan. They're calling you Hulk Hogan, Rob.
He went to answer the doorbell again.
Super popular in
Yeah,
Texas.
he's working in the motel.
Yeah. So I wanted to let you know that we tried Anthony's biscuit recipe, and we've created something. We're going to do a video on it. It's
Nice.
pretty cool, and it tastes good. So we're going to be doing watch for a video from us about how to use his biscuit recipe with our method of cooking it and have a new thing.
Oh, look here. I almost forgot. I was going to show this off earlier. This is what we're going to have in the drawing when we get there. There's the sheath and the knife. I put the sheath. I just finished the sheath for that knife today. So it's got like I did some tooling on this one. I haven't. It's got a deer head on it, so I figured it'll be around deer season when it comes around to doing the drawing. So it becomes right in time on deer hunting. So you got the sheath and the knife that will be given away when I get to 2,500. You guys. It's all waiting to be given away. Just got her finished up today. Now I get to start another sheath tomorrow for this bad boy.
Kukri.
Okay, bye, Wasteland. You take care.
Oh,
Yep,
Wasteland was
I'm
in
gonna-
here. See you later, buddy.
That's gonna be a shoulder knife sheath. He's gonna have it over his shoulder.
Put it this way, I have a kukri and I love that thing. I use that thing all the time when I'm outside. That's my machete, kukri.
Those things are tremendous, man. They do a lot of different stuff.
Yep, that thing. The belly on that thing is just brutal to anything less than about an inch wide. So absolutely.
You were gone, Rob. Here's what I put together for that knife I'm giving away when I get to 2,500.
Pretty. I heard Anthony saying something about the belly on that thing. I thought you were talking about me.
No,
Here's
Hulk Hogan.
that's the knife. I don't know if you got to see the knife yet. You haven't been around.
That's pretty. Yeah.
That's a skinning knife. That's a skinning knife.
Yeah, that's a nice knife, Will. I know. I'm
Yeah,
way.
they were talking about the belly on this monster here.
The kukri. Yeah.
Yeah, that's one I'm working on right now. The sheath for.
Yeah, we just got back on Saturday, so I'm playing catch up on everything. We were gone for 10 days, so I'm way
It
behind.
must have been good though, huh?
Yes, it was good. It was good. I was the old guy on the trip, and I out hiked almost everybody. Carried more weight and hiked better and faster. So yay me.
That's good. It's real good.
It is. I didn't carry all that much. I think my pack was neighborhood of 55 pounds, something like that. So it wasn't awful, but good grief.
Oh
Best
man
part-
says when he grew up, we had a deep cellar. That's a special place where they'd go. That would be a good place to go, a cellar.
Yeah, the basement, definitely take advantage of it.
Yep. Well, my son lives in the basement of my house, and that's where he hangs out at. If I go down there, he asks me what I want.
We're trying to cool off.
I know he wants something.
Yeah, we can't get basements around here. The water table's too high, so most basements require a hardcore sump pump. If you even want to try to put it in, it's just not even worth it.
Oh yeah, that's the way it is in Washington too. There are a lot of I built a lot of houses and stuff. Well, as an excavator, so we would dig another hole just outside the foundation area and had a sump pump in them, so it'd catch the water before it got inside the concrete walls.
Yep.
Yeah,
Wes is giving
always away when you want something bad enough.
That's right. Just costs you.
Wes is giving you a hard time about feeding your wife to the chipmunks.
Well, it didn't take. I'll try harder next time. I'll rub a little peanut butter under her arms. Maybe they'll get her.
You'd cut their legs off, have some chicken.
And everybody needs to go to Rob Painless's channel, and he put out a video today, and you'll know what we're talking about. So.
Yeah, it was kind of fun. We had a few years ago, we were there. I say a couple of years ago, there was one that was so tame that it just wanted to come and hang out in your jacket pocket. It would climb up in your lap and want you to pick it up and just put it in the pocket and then just feed it nuts and things like that. It was perfectly content, almost bizarre.
That's that one on the video, huh?
No, it was a couple of years ago. I mean, the one on the video was pretty tame, but not like the one a couple of years ago.
Oh yeah, yeah. I watched that video. It was a pretty good one.
Thank you.
One today. Was that corn chips or Fritos or something like that?
I think it was just pieces of bread. The stupid little yeah, they ate a hole right in the corner of a sack of bread, so we just gave them a piece of chewed on. Chewed up about half of one of the bananas. Good, not as bad as mice or rats.
Hey, Will, one thing I wanted to add, I'm sorry, Cheryl.
Go ahead.
No,
just called somebody.
One of the things I wanted to add was, since we are talking about heat, it kind of just fired at my head just now. But you want to try to stay out of direct sun exposure as well. I know natural thought is you want to take your, being a male, you could take your shirt off or wear short sleeves or that kind of thing. But the sun, especially in the middle, I mean, where I'm at in June, July, and August, you can get a hardcore sunburn in less than an hour. And I mean like a hardcore sunburn. Mm-hmm. And having blisters and everything else will drastically, reduce your effectiveness while you're outside. So I know it's kind of counterproductive, but long sleeves, like a loose fitting clothes, long sleeves, and like a bandana or shamag or something around your neck, just to make sure you're avoiding direct sun exposure is probably the best advice I can give anybody, because you want to keep the sun off your skin. And I learned that from, working with a whole bunch of Mexican guys doing roofs. Like, I always wonder why they're wearing long sleeve, loose fitting clothes. That's why, because they got to keep the sun off. The sun is very dangerous.
That's good. That's good advice. Yeah, I remember being young and wanting to always have my shirt off. But man, did I ever have to pay the price for it. And it seems that nowadays the sun is even hotter than it used to be. So burning through that ozone layer, I guess. I don't know.
Well, Brandon,
yeah,
because of his CP,
yeah,
the slightest bit of sun, and he literally turns purple.
Probably just because I get old, my skin's a lot thinner now, I guess.
I burn very easily. Like I turn purple, like my mom just said.
Yeah, so we that's one thing we are very careful about doing. We will put bandanas around our neck to protect the neck and the shoulders, and like I said, long sleeves and stuff. But with him, it's extremely dangerous because just even 15 minutes in the sun and he's sunburnt severely. So, yeah, you have to be real careful with that.
Somebody said, ask the bald guy how he knows. I think they're talking to you, Rob.
I don't know. I'm getting thin.
We all get thin sooner or later.
Yeah, but definitely get a sun hat if you can. Speaking of your head, I've had sun poisoning on my head, and that is not fun with blisters and all that stuff. So a sun hat, a really good, like Indiana Jones style hat, whatever you got to do. Put a hat on when you're outside, just to protect the back of your neck and your head and your ears, especially. Your ears will really, your ears and your nose. That's not only will skin cancer grow on there pretty quickly, but the burns on those things being cartilage is
well, if you don't ever wear a hat and just have your head out in the air all the time, usually it acclimates before the hot time of the year comes, and it's pretty well already covered up with heat layers, tan or whatever they call it.
Yeah, there may be something to that because I rarely ever wear a brimmed hat. I do sometimes, but I wear the bandana, the head rag most of the time. I never have any issues with my ears or my nose. But I mean, Anthony's right. The more you protect it, though, the better off. That's just a smart thing to do.
Just for longevity purposes, for when you do 40 years outside, because my great grandfather was in the Navy and he was always out on ship, on board, everything like that. He ended up getting skin cancer on his nose from just being outside so long, not protecting the nose. So that was kind of stuck with me. You always want to make sure that since they do see the sun so much, that you are at least being mindful if you can, especially with the UV layers being kind of stronger these days with the ozone and whatnot. So.
Yeah. One thing I do when it's like really hot, summertime, springtime, I'll wear baseball caps and put them on backwards baseball cap, so the bill of the cap will protect my neck from the sun, and that helps a bit.
Yeah, something somebody else brought up was don't let the wind fool you. That's right. You can still get sunburnt. That wind will cool you down, and you don't realize how bad you're burning because you don't feel the heat.
Sometimes you can even, well, I know this is unrelated, but you can even get sunburnt in the snow. Sometimes.
Absolutely in the snow, but you can get sunburned in the shade too, with a cloudy day. The many times I work and I got sunburned when it was cloudy all day because the UV light still goes through the clouds.
Oh yeah.
And that's just it. A lot of times people will get burnt on an overcast day, and that they're thinking, "Oh, I'm fine." Well, no, you're not. You're still going to get burnt. So, and Wes said that's why he wears long hair.
Yeah, I was just going to say that's why I wear mine long too.
Yep.
I gotta have a fade. Military habits die softly.
I used to have it like that for years. I grew out of it.
I can't do the hair on the ear. It drives me insane.
Yeah, it used to do that for me too, but you grow out of it.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we've come to the end.
Yeah, I don't see anything else in the comments, so.
Well, I'm sorry I kept getting distracted.
Of course, Eric says wear your cover right, Palmetto.
I'll wear my booty from now on. That way you can't mess it up.
Camp Patton family said I always carry a 32-ounce Camelback bottle on my belt.
Yeah, anytime you're out in the heat, you should always have plenty of hydration, you guys.
Always.
I'm gonna close out with that. Make sure you always have plenty of hydration. If I'm out in the sun anymore, even at my age, I will have a backpack and it has a hydration bladder in it, just so that I have enough water to keep hydrated.
Absolutely. I've never heard someone say, "Man, I wish I wouldn't have brought so much water."
I have never heard anybody say that.
Yeah.
What gets me is watching these people walk through the parks and around the lakes and stuff. They don't have a water bottle. They don't have nothing, They're just out there. Nonsense.
Yeah.
Yeah, not smart. Not too smart.
All right, you guys. I want to thank everybody that came up on the panel tonight, and I want to thank everybody out there in the side chat. Mostly, I want to thank the people out there in the side chat. I really appreciate everybody's comments. You kind of keep us on our toes up here on the panel, and we'll be out here doing it again. This is Monday. I'll be out doing it again Wednesday morning, you guys. Make sure you come by on Wednesday morning. Remember, if you guys know anybody that wants to win a nice knife, it's gonna be up for grabs as soon as we hit 2,500. Because I'll send them over.
I got my 4 names in.
Yeah,
So,
Cheryl is the first one to get 4 chances into the drawing. So that is pinned on my homepage, you guys. It's not hard to find. Just go look it up.
I'm in the dark. I got to go dig through and see what's going on here.
Yeah, you do.
You've been gone for a while.
Yeah.
All right, you guys. I want to thank everybody. I'm going to close her off.
all right.
Thanks,
Night,
Will. Appreciate
All
your
right,
stream.
thank y'all.
Thanks, everybody.
Cheers, Anthony. Bye, Cheryl. Bye,
Hey, thanks,
everybody.
y'all.
Bye.